Guys, so I had a nightmare last night. It's December 27th today, 2025. Um, I think it's worth talking about because it was extremely vivid. Now, of course, I'm not saying it's going to happen or it's the future that I see, but it's definitely worth talking about because it felt extremely real. Now, in the dream, it wasn't even like a real weird dream. It actually felt extremely like I was still at home with my family, and I was in the kitchen in the second floor of my house, and my grandma was, sitting at the table like she usually does. She just sits at the table, she stares at the wall, and I remember having the feeling that grandpa was upstairs taking a shower or something, and the dog was downstairs. So it felt like how my life is every day. Now, this is where it gets kind of crazy. I literally started to feel something come over my body, and I looked at the oven, and I thought it was the oven, that the oven was on because I felt the heat, but it wasn't the oven was off. But when I opened the oven, I started feeling like, and I swear to you, I started panicking in the dream, and my first thought was I have to open the door to the yard and I have to get everybody out of the house. But my mind was reacting fast enough, but my body wasn't clicking with my mind. And I swear, I felt the air, the oxygen out of my lungs. It was like they were being like sucked out of my life. Like it felt like something was sucking the oxygen out of my life, and I don't know how to explain it. Like I felt like I was not drowning. Like drowning is different. Like this was like maybe it's how you feel if you go too high up in the sky, right? But it just felt like some force was not allowing me to breathe in, and it was taking whatever oxygen that I had left inside of my lungs. It was just pulling it out of my body. And I had the feeling like it was happening all around me. Like it wasn't just happening to me. It was happening around me and the world. But I still was saying to myself, I have to get us outside where there's air. And I did manage to open the door thinking maybe the air would come in, but nothing changed. And I was really close to like passing out, I think, in the dream, and then I woke up. Now, I know you're gonna say it's just a dream and everything, and yeah, I agree. Believe me, I'm not gonna have anything saying it's God or this or, well, I don't know. I really don't know, actually. Maybe it's God telling me one of many things, but I don't know how to interpret it. Because I don't feel like in my life right now, I don't feel like I'm being crowded. I don't feel like I'm getting the life sucked out of me. I mean, I have a lot of pressure with taking care of the old folks, but maybe it's a subconscious amount of things that I'm not aware of. But there's something eerie about it, and it made me think about, I don't know, it just made me think about a few weird things. And this is where I'm probably going to lose a lot of people, but I don't care. It was making me think about the geo-engineering that goes in the sky. Like that's happening in our skies like every day for God knows how many years now. Now, a lot of you are going to say it's conspiracy theory, it's this, it's that. Fine, but you don't have to take my word for it. All you have to do is type in geo-engineering Harvard, geo-engineering government, and you could find all the legitimate sources and documentation. It's been going on for a long time. You could find Lyndon Johnson talking about using weather warfare back in like the 1960s. You could read about Agent Orange. You could read about everything from how we started it in World War II. We weren't just doing nuclear weapons. We were doing weather warfare then, just not as good as whatever they're doing now. And the only reason why, I know you're going to say, oh, what is this? What are you doing? The only reason why I diverged towards this was because it sometimes feels like the world around us isn't really our world anymore. And I don't mean like what do you mean We own the world. We got the cities, we have the lights, the traffic, Wi-Fi, internet. We've got everything around it. It is our world. Yeah, in that materialistic sense, maybe. Uh, but I would say it isn't our world. It's somebody else's world, and we just happen to be living on it. We might be their pawns, whatever this force might be. It could be whatever you want to say, but I don't know. I don't know. But I woke up with such a foreboding. I woke up like with such a darkness from that dream. Like, because it really felt like no way out. Like, it really felt like it was over. But I thought it was death, you know? And I even woke up like I was out of breath. So it's like when you watch The Matrix and they say, well, how could you die in The Matrix? It's just your mind. Well, if your mind dies in The Matrix, your body goes along with it because your mind believes that you died. So, I don't know. I don't think I was dying. I don't think there was something happening. I don't think so. But it certainly felt like, because when I woke up from the dream, I was like catching my breath and shit. I felt like, something was wrong. But I don't have any health problems. I'm pretty healthy. I gained some weight over the few months because I've been stuck at home doing things with the family. But, my average, I used to be able to run normally, go out with the dog. But the point is, I know people don't like to talk about geoengineering. I know they don't. But I think it's extremely important. I mean, they've been spraying over our heads now since before I was even born, obviously. I mean, you could watch a 1998 Sopranos episode, the one where Tony is coming out of the bada bing. I think it's right before Artie has his sniper rifle aimed at him because Artie is pissed off that he burned down his first restaurant. And you could see in the skies, there's the lines. There they are, all the way back in, well, if it came out in 1998, they were probably filming it in the year that I was born, 1997. So, look, a lot of people shut their minds off when it comes to this stuff, but look, here's a whole book on it. Geo-Engineering, A Chronicle of Indictment, Exposing the Global Climate Engineering Cover-Up, by Dane Wigington, who's very good. I don't watch him anymore because, his videos are mostly the same. He's right to have such urgency to what he's saying, but, I already know all the information now. There's no reason for me to constantly bombard my mind with it. But, let me just give you an example of what it says in the back of this book, right? It says, covert global climate engineering programs are the single most environmentally destructive assault on the human race that has ever unleashed against nature and the entire web of life. The list of catastrophic environmental and human health consequences directly connected to the ongoing climate engineering insanity makes these programs mathematically the greatest and most immediate threat we collectively face short of nuclear cataclysm. Climate scientists claim that solar radiation management is the final option for cooling down our rapidly warming world. But is that the truth? Are climate intervention programs actually mitigating the unfolding planetary meltdown, or further fueling it overall? How can we expose and halt the global engineering omnicide before it is too late? Now, it's a lot to cover. Look how thick this book is. It's a very good book. But look, I have talked to regular people, and the moment you try to bring this up to them, they shut down. They shut you down, and they shut down. They mentally cannot handle this conversation. They just can't. But they can talk about climate change, global warming, which is all bullshit. Sorry, if you're on here and that makes you angry what I'm saying, that climate change, global warming, all of that is bullshit, well, sorry, you're programmed. You're brainwashed. You got a lot of thinking to do. You got a lot of reflection to do. Now, am I denying that there's something wrong going on with the world? Absolutely not. There is something wrong going on with the world, but it's not what the mainstream media has had you and us believe for decades and decades. I mean, look, I know it's cliche, although maybe there are still plenty of people who don't understand the analogy. But you go to 1970, you could see Spock on Star Trek talking about global cooling, right? That we're going to become an ice age. Late 1970s, Paul, I forgot his name, big asshole, Paul Ehrlich, he predicted that there wouldn't be enough food by 1990, and the population would be too much, and everything would fall apart, and we have to reduce birth rates. Then that didn't stand the test of time, and then in the 1990s, you had global warming, right? With Al Gore. Al Gore, the same asshole who owns a huge, almost hotel-like mansion and goes on his private jets, telling you about the ice caps melting and the ocean level rising, and the same politicians who say that bullshit, they have land and property right at the shore almost. So that didn't stand the test of time either. So then they change it to climate change. Okay? But here's what makes me different from what this might sound like your average Republican argument against the Democrat paradigm. What makes me different is that the missing link is geoengineering. That is what's causing a lot of problems, but not the problems that they're telling you about. All that stuff from global cooling, global warming, population problems, famines, no oil, all of this stuff, that is all just fear-based. It's not provable. It continues to change and evolve into different forms of lies for the new bulk of idiots who are born and need to be afraid of something new. No, the real issue is right in front of your face. And I don't have to tell you to look at data sheets. I don't have to tell you to believe in some scientist on CNN or some other scientist who's saying another thing on Fox News or what. All I ask of people is to look up in the sky every day of your life, make it a habit of your life, and start questioning. For centuries, whether you believe in the evolution theory or you're a biblical person and you believe that the earth has only been here for 6,000 years, the evolutionary people believe it's been around for billions of years, it doesn't matter. This point remains the same for actually both sides of the equation. When in human history has there been a time where we have been spraying the skies, or if you don't want to believe that they're spraying poisonous ingredients on our populations for decades, well, how about this? Do you think it's extremely healthy for there to be airplanes flying over the skies 24/7 at the amounts that they do every year? Do you think that's not doing anything? Now, besides that basic point, once you start realizing that they're geoengineering, and if you look at the trails in the sky, they don't just go away. They stay there for a long time, the trails in the sky, and they spread. They spread. And then they come down slowly onto the earth. And then they have to do it again the next day because whatever they're putting up, aluminum, all of that stuff, it doesn't stay in the sky. So they have to keep spraying it every day for that to stay in the sky. Now, there are multiple ideas of what this ultimate purpose is. They've been doing it for decades. A lot of people believe it has to do with Project Bluebeam. You need all of these particles in the sky so you could create holograms one day and fool the people about aliens. Or it's also just another way to reduce the population and cause more disease that wouldn't be there if they weren't doing this in the first place. Other ideas are all of the vaccinated people have all of these things inside of their body, metallics and everything, and the aluminum and whatever they're spraying has some kind of a effect. It affects them a certain way. I do not have a specific answer on this. I do not lean on a specific answer. But I know it's happening. I see it's happening. And to deny it is just... You're being stupid. You're putting your head in the sand. You're denying something. All you have to do is look up in the sky. Anywhere you live in the world. You just have to look up. Get your head out of the phone and look up into the sky. And you'll see. Now, I've been watching this sky for a few years now. Longer. I really became more aware of it maybe in 2018, 2019. I started taking some pictures on my Canon. I'll even post them on here just to show you some, just over my territory, the kind of spraying that they do. Now, I don't take pictures much anymore because I got tired of it, but I still look up in the sky when I can. We have abnormal weather patterns. We have people acting abnormal. Nature itself is acting abnormal. But one thing I've even noticed, even before I became aware of geoengineering, was that the bee population has been declining. And this is before I read about the reports and 70% of the bee population has gone missing according to scientists. I was noticing this when I was a young teenager. I used to love the bees as a child. The little bumblebees used to give me a kick for some reason. Not the wasp, but the little bumblebees. I used to love watching them in the yard. And then we used to have a ton of them when I was a kid. You know, a ton. Over the years, we still have some bumblebees that show up naturally, you know. But it's not in the amounts that I remember. But I remember dozens upon dozens of these little yellow guys, you know. But as I got older, and especially now, I mean, it's maybe a few of them. Like, I could count them on my hand. When the spring comes and the bees come out to pollinate, I could count them on my hands now at this point. There's very little of them left. Now, if you read about geoengineering, you know the aluminum... sorry, I'm a little off today. It causes Alzheimer's. It causes Alzheimer's. So if you went back to, say, when the Indians were still running around, the Native Americans, they would live up to 100 years old, some of them, naturally, before we had medicine and technology. They wouldn't have signs of Alzheimer's until like 100 years old. Huh, funny how that works, right? Now, in our population, Alzheimer's is becoming extremely... it is common. It's very common. Alzheimer's and dementia. There's a lot of older people who have it now. And it's not just senility. It is extreme, this stuff. I've seen it in my own grandma. I've watched since she's been diagnosed from 2015, 2016, how much she's changed. I mean, she's gone. I mean, she's here, but she's gone. I mean, it's crazy. And her sister passed away from that as well. And so they're causing all of these problems in us. And it also shows in the bee population, when they did the studies, bees are forming Alzheimer's in their little populations. Bees have Alzheimer's. I mean, you people don't want to see anything. You people don't talk about anything. You're also, I hate to turn this into a rant, but I gotta. You people, all you care about are your sports, your reality TV shows, believing in the politics, right? You know, half of the fucking politics you're watching probably isn't even real. Let me tell you that. You know what is real? When you get out of your house and you look up in the sky and you see them spraying every goddamn day over your head. That's real. Now, is Donald Trump doing anything about it? Your hero? No, they're still spraying. Is RFK Jr. doing anything about it? No, they're still spraying. And they're still vaccinating you, and they're going to vaccinate you to oblivion because you're willingly doing it, because you obey this authority that is most likely not even real. Everything you're watching on TV, I'll be generous, okay? Maybe 80 to 85% of what you watch on your television or even your computer is AI. And if it's not AI, then maybe the other 10% of it is just fabricated bullshit. So maybe 5% what you're seeing on television, on the internet, is real. All that is real is your physicality, your reality. You get up, you got to see everything, you look up in the sky, and there's the proof right there, right in front of your nose, but you don't want to see that. So if Americans can't even see this, how can you expect them to break the invisible chains of slavery and ignorance that they so happily wrap themselves in? So, look, whoever is, why they're doing it, oh, who knows, maybe it's the reptilians, I don't know. They want to change the atmosphere so that they can live here. Probably not, because if that was the case, I think if you were an advanced enough alien species, we would have been extinct already. Could be the Illuminati, Luciferians, whatever. Take your pick. Take your pick. Does it matter at this point? Does it matter? And the reason why I'm saying doesn't matter what the reason is because it's happening. Whatever it is, they're spraying over you. They're spraying over you. Come up with all the excuses you want. Oh, but they got families too. They wouldn't do that. What do you mean? All the people who commit atrocities throughout history, from the Germans to the Russians, they killed all those innocent people. We killed innocent people when we dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We all had families when we committed those horrific acts. I think, and also my theory is on the reptilian and the alien theory to this. It's an interesting theory, and I've read plenty of the alien stuff, believe me. But do I sign on to that notion? No, I don't sign on to that notion. There's a lot of weird shit. Hell, the alien stuff we see, the UFOs, the UAPs, the demonic entities that show their faces once in a while on the internet, you know, on those anomaly videos, or they glitch out, might be something a bit more demonic, interdimensional. Because if it was aliens, I think the logic would be a little different than what we've been seeing. You see what I mean? I think the humans who are doing this, they're definitely sold their souls to somebody. So if you think that the governments, if you think that these organizations are incapable of doing something like this, you are historically illiterate, to say the least. Historically illiterate, or you're afraid. You're afraid, and you don't want to admit that this is happening. You don't want to. You hide in your reality TV shows. You hide in your politics. You hide when you go and vote. You hide when you fight with your families about the left and the right, or this ideology and that ideology. None of it is going to matter, you know, one day. Even if it's just when you die naturally, it's not going to matter. But it's not going to matter for humanity one day. If the bee population is going away like this, I mean, it's affecting us the same way. You're going to get Alzheimer's younger and younger and younger. You might see people getting it in their 50s at this rate. You don't think so? I mean, you're breathing it in every day of your life. You could hide in your house, but that comes through your air, most of it. You can't avoid it. So you're not doing anything about anything. You think voting is changing anything? Complaining on the internet is changing everything? It's not. It's not. None of you face reality. You are all just slavishly like lemmings, walking off of the cliff, making your masters happy. Oh good, they're still jumping off of the cliff. The agenda is going as planned.